In today's video, we will discuss about Bode plot. So we know that the frequency response of a system is defined as the steady state response of the system to a sinusoidal input signal. So if the input signal is sinusoidal, the output is also a sinusoidal signal of same frequency as that of the input, but their magnitude and phase will differ from those of the input signal, and the amount of difference is a function of the input frequency. So the transfer function, which describes the steady state behavior of the system, is obtained by replacing S by j omega. So the transfer function will then become a function of complex variable j omega, which will have both magnitude as well as phase angle. So this magnitude and phase angle can be graphically plotted. So the types of plots used for frequency response analysis is Bode plot, polar plot, Nyquist plot, M&N circles, Nicholas plot. So we will discuss here regarding Bode plot. So this Bode plot is a graphical method to determine the frequency response of a circuit. So it is named based on the work done by H.W. Bode. So it consists of two separate plots. So first one is magnitude plot and the other one is phase plot. So what this magnitude plot gives us? So the magnitude plot gives us the variation of the amplitude of g of j omega with respect to frequency. Similarly, phase plot gives us the variation of phase angle of g of j omega with respect to the frequency. So these Bode plots are made in semilog graph paper for obtaining greater accuracy and also to have a wide range of frequency values. So in both the amplitude and phase plots, the frequency is plotted on the horizontal log scale. Frequency is plotted on the horizontal log scale, whereas the amplitude and the phase angle are plotted on the linear vertical scale. So either your magnitude or the phase angle will be plotted on the linear vertical scale. So a graph paper with horizontal axis in logarithmic scale and vertical axis in the linear scale, we call it as semilog paper. So the x-axis will be the logarithmic scale, whereas the y-axis will be the linear scale. So we'll see about the magnitude plot and the Bode phase angle plot. So for that, we consider the standard form of g of j omega. So we consider first the open loop transfer function in the time constant form. So this is time constant form, g of s equal to k into 1 plus st1 into 1 plus st2 divided by s into 1 plus st3 into 1 plus st4. So in order to obtain the magnitude as well as phase angle of this particular open loop transfer function, we need to replace s by j omega. So on replacing s by j omega, this is what we are going to get. So we have to consider the magnitude and phase angle of this particular transfer function. So you can observe here k becomes k at an angle 0 degree, whereas the magnitude of 1 plus j omega t1 is root of 1 plus omega square t1 square. Its angle is tan inverse of omega t1. Similarly, the magnitude of 1 plus j omega t2 is root 1 plus omega square t2 square tan inverse of omega t2. Similarly, we have to do it in the denominator. J omega magnitude is omega at an angle 90 degree, and we have square root of 1 plus omega square t3 square tan inverse omega t3 into root 1 plus omega square t4 square tan inverse of omega t4. So from this particular g of j omega, we need to consider the magnitude separately and phase angles separately. So we have here magnitude, which is separate k into root 1 plus omega square t1 square root of 1 plus omega square t2 square divided by omega into root 1 plus omega square t3 square root of 1 plus omega square t4 square, and so on. So this particular magnitude is usually taken in decibels. So if we want to obtain g of j omega magnitude in decibels, we have to multiply it by 20 and consider logarithm to the base 10. So in decibels, g of j omega in decibels is equal to 20 log to the base 10 into magnitude of g of j omega. This is how we plot the magnitude versus phase angle. So Bode magnitude plot is the plot of the logarithm of the magnitude of a sinusoidal transfer function g of j omega versus log omega, where omega is the radian frequency. So the standard representation will be in decibels. So if x-axis is omega, then our y-axis will be magnitude of g of j omega in decibels. This is the Bode magnitude plot. Next, we will consider only the angles of g of j omega. So angle of k is 0 degree, then tan inverse of omega t1, tan inverse of omega t2, all the denominator terms taken up becomes negative. So plus 90 degree becomes minus. Similarly, minus tan inverse omega t3 minus tan inverse omega t4. So this particular phase angle plotted in the linear scale and the frequency taken along the horizontal scale. This is angle of j omega. This gives us the phase angle plot. So Bode plot comprises two plots. One is magnitude plot and the other one is phase angle plot. Magnitude plot is usually plotted in decibels, whereas the phase angle, we consider the phase angle versus the frequency. This is how we plot the Bode magnitude plot and the Bode phase angle plot. Next is the basic factors which we need to consider for g of j omega. So the basic factors of a transfer function g of j omega is always the first one, we have a constant gain which is k. The second one is the integral factor, wherein we can consider a pole at the origin, that means a single pole at the origin or multiple poles at the origin. Similarly, a derivative factor, wherein we have derivative factor is nothing but we have a zero at the origin or we have multiple zeros at the origin. Next thing is first order factor in the denominator. In the sense, in the denominator, if this is the transfer function, we have in the denominator s plus 1. Okay. So now our s is equal to minus 1. So it is a pole on the real axis. This is nothing but a pole on the real axis, negative side. So first order factor in the denominator is a pole on the real axis. Similarly, first order factor in the numerator say we have, suppose here s is equal to plus 3, that means we have a 0 at s is equal to minus 3. So this is the first order factor in the numerator is 0 on the real axis. Then we have a quadratic factor in the denominator. That means say we have in the denominator we have s square plus 4s plus 25 of that kind. Then it comes to we have a quadratic term. So quadratic factor in the denominator. Similarly, we can even have a quadratic factor in the numerator. This is just an example. So if we have a quadratic factor in the numerator, so what are we going to consider for the magnitude plot and the phase angle plot? So these basic factors 1 to 7 will be discussed in detail in the coming video. In today's video, we will learn about the basic factors of g of j omega, that is the transfer function needed to obtain the Bode plot. Now, the first basic factor is the constant gain, which is k. So let us consider g of s is equal to k. On replacing s by j omega, we get g of j omega is equal to k. So we can write it as k plus j0. So real term is k, imaginary term is 0. So let us find its magnitude, because Bode plot should have both magnitude plot as well as phase plot. So first one will concentrate on the magnitude plot if gain is k. So let us take the magnitude as a, which is given by 20 log of g of j omega. As I have already told in the previous video, the magnitude plot, the vertical axis is magnitude in decibels. So it is 20 log g of j omega, which can be written as 20 log k. So this k can take a value which is equal to 1, because 20 log 1 is 0. So our 0 axis, which is log omega, so 20 log 1, 20 log which is greater than 1, k which is less than 1. So if we take a value k greater than 1, then we get a positive value of a, which will be parallel to the log omega axis, that is horizontal to the log omega axis. Next, if k takes a value which is less than 1, we get a value as negative, which is again a parallel line to the log omega axis, which is constant. So irrespective of whatever is the frequency, either the magnitude is positive, negative or equal to 0. That means to say the magnitude a is independent of log omega. Now what about the phase plot? So if we look here, we have k plus j0, which can be written as k at an angle 0 degree. That means to say the phase angle of g of j omega is 0 degree irrespective of the value of omega. So if you observe the phase plot here, you can observe that the phase angle is 0 degree whatever be the value of k. From 0 to infinity will be 0 degree. So if k is less than 0, we can treat it as negative, which is minus 180 degree. Next basic factor is the integral factor. The integral factor, first one is, we will consider single pole at the origin. First integral factor is single pole at the origin. Pole means it should be in the denominator. So our g of s is equal to 1 by s. Now we need to construct the magnitude plot as well as Bode plot. So replace this s by j omega. This becomes g of j omega is equal to 1 by j omega. Now it is seen that this is the imaginary term. So this can be rewritten as 1 divided by 0 plus j omega. Or we will consider the magnitude only. So how can we write the magnitude? So magnitude is magnitude of g of j omega is equal to 1 by root of 0 square plus omega square, which becomes 1 by omega. Sorry, it is 1 by omega. So what is the magnitude in decibels? Magnitude in decibels is given by A is equal to 20 log magnitude of G of j omega. So which becomes, we got it as 1 by omega. So 20 log 1 by omega in decibels. This can be written as 20 log omega to the power minus 1, or we can write it as minus 20 log omega. Minus 20 log omega. That means this particular magnitude is a straight line. It is a straight line of the form y is equal to mx with slope m equal to minus 20. Slope m equal to minus 20. So now we will substitute different values for omega and see what will be the value of A. So we'll retain this equation. So what will happen if omega equal to 1, which is minus 20 log 1? A will be equal to 0 decibels. So what about omega equal to 10? If it is like that, then minus 20 log 10 becomes minus 20 decibels. So we multiply, we increase it 10-fold times. So omega equal to 100. So magnitude of A becomes minus 40 decibels. Similarly, omega equal to 1000. Magnitude of A becomes minus 60. Magnitude A becomes minus 60 decibels. So if we observe here, as we increase the frequency 10 times by a factor of 10, the corresponding decibel value increases by a factor of 20. So in Bode plot, the frequency ratios are expressed in terms of decades. A decade is a frequency band from omega 1 to 10 omega 1, where omega 1 is any frequency. So an interval of two frequencies with the ratio which is equal to 10, we call it as a decade. So the change of frequencies from omega 1 to omega 2, where omega 2 is this value, is called as a decade. So the magnitude plot for one pole at the origin of S plane is a straight line having a slope of minus 20 decibels per decade. It is most important to remember. I repeat, the magnitude plot for one pole at the origin of the S plane will be a straight line having a slope of minus 20 dB per decade. So we'll see what happens if we have two poles at the origin. So if we have two poles, we'll write G of S is equal to 1 by S square. Two poles at the origin. That means S is equal to 0, 0. So replace S by J omega. G of J omega becomes 1 by J omega the whole square. So now we have to find the magnitude of it. So what about the magnitude of this? So the magnitude, I'll directly write in decibels. It is 20 log of 1 by J omega square, this magnitude. So it is clear that it is 20 log omega to the power minus 2, or it is minus 40 log omega. So what it represents? It represents a straight line having a slope of minus 40 dB per decade, and it will pass through the 0 dB point in the logarithmic scale on semi-log paper. So remember, if we have a single pole, then we have a straight line which is having a slope of minus 20 dB per decade. If we have two poles at the origin, then we have a straight line which is having a slope of minus 40 dB per decade. And now we will see what will happen if we have multiple poles at the origin. Let g of s is equal to 1 by s to the power n, where n is the number of poles at the origin. So we can replace it as g of j omega equal to 1 by j omega to the power n. So what happens to the magnitude? A is equal to 20 log 1 by j omega to the power n. We have to consider only the magnitude. So it becomes 20 log 1 by omega to the power n, or minus n into 20 log omega. So if we have multiple poles at the origin, we have to multiply the number of poles at the origin into 20. So what it tells us is, it is a straight line having a slope of minus 20 into n dB per decade, and it will pass through the 0 dB point in the logarithmic frequency scale on semi-log paper. So now we will see how the magnitude plot for the poles at the origin looks like. So magnitude plot, A magnitude, which is A in decibels along y-axis, and we have the logarithmic scale along the x-axis, that is of frequency. So you can observe that we have three lines drawn over here, which are straight lines having a slope minus 20 dB per decade, minus 40 and minus 60. So minus 20 line which corresponds to the single pole at the origin. A minus 40 line corresponds to two poles at the origin. Minus 60 line corresponds to three poles at the origin. So depending upon the number of poles at the origin, our magnitude plot will have a straight line of slope minus 20 into n, where n is the number of poles at origin. So next we will see what about the phase plot of one pole at the origin is obtained by considering the phase angle of g of j omega. So first we will consider the transfer function g of s is equal to 1 by s, which is nothing but one pole at the origin. We replace this by j omega, s by j omega, so it becomes 1 by j omega. So we can write phase angle phi, which is nothing but the angle of g of j omega. It is omega. So it is nothing but angle of 1 by j omega. So angle of 1, which is the real part, it is 0 degree divided by j. So it is 90 degree. So when it goes up, it becomes minus 90 degree. That means our angle is minus 90 degree. So if we have a single pole at the origin, then the phase angle obtained is minus 90 degree. So now if we have n poles at the origin, then this becomes 1 by s to the power n. So this becomes 1 by j omega to the power n. Therefore our phase angle becomes 1 by j omega to the power n. That means n times 90 degrees. So 0 degree divided by n times 90 degree. 90 degree, again 90 degree. This is 0 degree, again 0 degree divided by angle 90 degree, that to n times. So we can write our phase angle for n poles at the origin as phi is equal to minus n into 90 degree. That means if we have two poles at the origin, our phase angle is minus 180 degree. If we have three poles at the origin, then our phase angle is minus 270 degree and so on. So we'll see how the phase plot looks like. So if we have 0 at the origin, our g of s, it will be in the numerator. So it is given by g of s is equal to s. We replace it by j omega. So s becomes j omega. Its magnitude in decibels will be given by a is equal to 20 log j magnitude of j omega, which we can write it as 20 log omega. That means this is the equation of a straight line whose slope is plus 20 dB per decade and it passes through the 0 dB line at omega equal to 1. Say suppose we have multiple poles, multiple zeros at the origin. So it is s to the power n. Then this becomes j omega to the power n. So what will happen to the angle? This is j omega to the power n. So our magnitude becomes 20 into n log omega. That means we have a straight line of slope 20 into n plus 20 into n dB per decade, which passes through the 0 dB point at omega equal to 1 in the logarithmic frequency scale on the semilog paper. So if we have two zeros at the origin, then it is 40 dB per decade. If we have three zeros at the origin, then it is plus 60 dB per decade and so on. So we'll see what about the phase angles if we have single zero at the origin and multiple zeros at the origin. So we have again g of s equal to s. Yes, you replace it by j omega. So g of j omega becomes j omega. Its angle phi is nothing but angle of g of j omega. It is angle of j omega, which is plus 90 degree. So if we have n zeros at the origin, then our g of j omega becomes j omega to the power n. And our phase angle becomes n plus n into 90 degree. So if we have two zeros, then the phase angle is plus 180 degree. If we have three zeros, then our phase angle is plus 270 degrees and so on. So now we will see how the plot of magnitude and phase angle looks like for zeros at the origin. So this is how the magnitude and phase angle plot looks like for zeros at the origin. So the magnitude plot, you can see three straight lines. This is having a slope plus 20 dB per decade. That means we have single zero. This is we have two zeros, and this is we have three zeros at the origin. So plus 20, plus 40 and plus 60 dB per decade. Similarly, our phase angle is plus 90 degree, plus 180 degree, plus 270 degree and so on. So here you can observe that the straight line crosses the 0 dB line at omega equal to 1. So in the coming videos, we will look into the integral factor, that is first order factor in the denominator, quadratic factor in the denominator, first order factor in the numerator and quadratic factor in the numerator. We will look into the Bode plot of first order factors in the denominator. So first is a simple pole on the real axis. So let us consider g of s as 1 by 1 plus st, which is a simple pole on the real axis. So the sinusoidal transfer function, we obtain it by replacing s by j omega. So this becomes g of j omega is equal to 1 by 1 plus j omega t. So now we need to have the magnitude as well as the phase angle. So what will be its magnitude? So magnitude A is equal to 20 log of magnitude of g of j omega. So what is magnitude of this g of j omega? So A is equal to 20 log of 1 by root 1 plus omega square t square, or it can be written as minus 20 log root 1 plus omega square t square, minus 20 log root of 1 plus omega square t square in decibels. So now we have to consider the frequency region, omega varying from 0 to 1k or 10k on the logarithmic scale. So instead of sketching the exact plot using this particular magnitude equation, we can plot the approximate curves in two regions, namely the low frequency region and the high frequency region. So first we will consider at the low frequency region. So at low frequencies, we can neglect this omega t. So what we write is at low frequency, A is equal to minus 20 log root of 1 plus 0, which gives us minus 20 log 1, which is equal to 0 decibels. So this is a straight line. So it is seen that the log magnitude curve at low frequencies is the constant 0 decibel line. Thus, the contribution by such a factor can be completely neglected in the low frequency range as it is very small. So now we will see what happens if we consider a high frequency region. At high frequencies, we can neglect this 1 as compared to omega square t square. So our magnitude A becomes minus 20 log omega t. So we'll treat this as equation 1. So here if we consider omega is equal to 1 by t, then A becomes, if you substitute 1 by t in this equation 1, what we get is minus 20 log 1, which is equal to 0 decibels. If we consider omega is equal to 10 by t, that means you increase it by 10 times, then what will happen is it becomes minus 20 log 10. So magnitude A becomes 20 decibels, that is minus 20 decibels. So it decreases the value of minus 20 log omega t in decibels, decreases by 20 dB for every decade of omega. So for omega, which is greater than 1 by t, the log magnitude curve is a straight line with the slope minus 20 dB per decade. So if we have a simple pole on the real axis, the factor which is 1 by 1 plus j omega t, which we had considered, it can be approximated by two straight lines. One straight line is a 0 dB line for the frequency range omega varying from 1 to 1 by t, whereas the other is a straight line with the slope minus 20 dB per decade for the frequency range omega greater than 1 by t but less than infinity. So the point of intersection of these two lines can be obtained by equating equation 1 to 0. So if we make this a equal to 0, we will get the point of intersection of this 0 dB line and minus 20 dB line. So if we equate equation 1 to 0, what we get is omega equal to 1 by t. So these two straight lines, that is the 0 dB line and this minus 20 dB line, are called straight line asymptotes. So the frequency at which the asymptotes meet, that means this line, 0 dB line and minus 20 dB line, where it meets is called as the corner frequency or break frequency. The corner frequency or break frequency is denoted by omega c equal to 1 by t, which is the corner frequency. So at low frequency, the log magnitude is 0 dB. At a high frequency, when the frequency is less than 1 by t, again our magnitude is 0 dB. After that, we have a straight line of slope minus 20 dB per decade. So we can draw the magnitude plot. So our magnitude plot is, this is log omega. This is our magnitude, which is in decibels. Okay. We will mark the omega. This is omega 0.1. This is 1. This is 10. This is 100. So our 1 by t comes somewhere here. 10 by t is here. And we need to have the 0 dB line. So let this be our 0 dB line, and we will have minus 20, minus 40, this is plus 20, plus 40. Now till the corner frequency 1 by t, that is this particular point 1 by t, our Bode plot is nothing but a straight line of 0 decibels. So 0 decibels straight line till 1 by t. After that, it is a slope of minus 20 dB per decade. So to minus 20, I'll draw a line, and to 10 by t, which we have considered, I'll draw a line. Now with the slope of minus 20, I'm going to cross. So this will be my approximated straight line. So we call it as straight line approximation asymptotes. So the low frequency approximation, we call it as low frequency asymptote, and the high frequency approximation, we call it as high frequency asymptote. So omega c is this. So omega c, which is equal to 1 by t, is the break frequency, because it is the break between the low frequency and the high frequency asymptotes. So now let us see what happens to the phase angle for a simple pole. The phase angle for 1 by 1 plus j omega t is, this is g of j omega. So angle of g of j omega is equal to phi, which is nothing but minus tan inverse of omega t, that is the imaginary term, by the real term, which is 1, or we can write it as minus tan inverse omega t. So to construct the phase angle plot, we will consider the different values of omega. So if we take, this is phi, okay. If we take omega equal to 0, we get phi as 0 degree. If we consider omega as our corner frequency or the break frequency, which is 1 by t, what we get, phi is equal to minus tan inverse of 1, which gives us 45 degree. Likewise, if we consider very high frequencies, that means omega t is very large, then our 5 is minus tan inverse infinity, which is minus 90 degree. So we will have a plot or a phase curve which passes through minus 45 degree at the corner frequency, which is omega c. So we will draw the phase angle plot for this. So magnitude, this is omega, okay. So this is 1 by 20t. The next marking here will be 1 by 10t. Here it is 1 by 5t, 1 by 2t, 1 by t, 2 by t, 5 by t, 10 by t. So I'll be taking so much. Next, we have obtained minus 90 degree. So we will take this itself as minus 90 degree. This is minus 45 degree. This is 0 degree. This y-axis is nothing but the angle phi. So when our omega equal to 0, okay, when omega equal to 0, the phase angle is 0 degree. So the phase angle starts from 0 degree and at the corner frequency it crosses minus 45 degrees. So here it goes like this, okay, then it decreases and finally it approaches minus 90 degree. This is how we plot the phase angle. Similarly, if we have say multiple first order factors, that is 1, instead of 1 by 1 plus j omega t, we have it to the power n, then our magnitude will become minus 20 into n log omega t, okay. And the magnitude plot will be a straight line of 0 magnitude for low frequency region, and for high frequency region we will have a slope of minus 20 into n dp per decade, and the low frequency and high frequency meets at the corner frequency, which is equal to 1 by t. So in the next video we will see the first order factors in the numerator, that is nothing but a simple 0 on the real axis.